Right, up next we'll have the 450 class who raced in front of 47,000 people tonight and had them on their feet. This place was rocking. Awesome, awesome race. We're going to bring up Yumalube, Yamaha Financial Services, Monster Energy, Yamaha's Cooper Webb on his first podium finish in his 450 career. Second place, Rebel KTM's Ryan Dungey. The big winner here in Oakland, 2 in a row, Eli Tomac. Now, Cooper, you know, going back 3 weeks ago, you had a 4th place finish, and things really seemed to turn around after the opening 2 rounds. You know, was it more the bike or was it more mental? Because you've been very strong the last 3 weeks, and you were the fastest qualifier, you won your heat race, and you raced with the front runners tonight for all 20 minutes plus 1 laps. What's going on with your program now? What's changed?
Yeah, I think mainly just the mentality of it all, really. You know, I think I'm gaining confidence and getting better and better, and you know, the bike's coming around. We're doing some racing, and racing for me is the best way to push the bike and push myself. So yeah, I think that was the main thing, and you know, I'm just getting more confident, like I said. And today went really well all day, and you know, you just have those days where you kind of know it's going to be a good day. So it was nice to back it up throughout the night show.
And well, good ride. Ryan, that's 6 podiums in a row. You extend the point lead to 17. You had a good lead there in the beginning of the main event, and that dragon back section, the second jump, the jump off, you did not look like you liked that one bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, the track was pretty tough. I mean, there were some spots where we were a little uncomfortable, and I think all of us, you know, riders, and a track like that, you know, it brings out the rider, you know, and the talent. You got to really put it all together. You know, we went for it there in the beginning and opened up a nice little lead, which was good. I could gauge where Eli was. I saw he was doing that rhythm lane, and then you know, all in it was a good night. I'm really happy with it. It was just a couple spots I was losing time on the track, so I'm happy with that. Like, it's not like it's a bike thing, or you know, we'll go to work during this week and try some more to get better. But yeah, just was losing some big time in a few spots, and considering where we started out, we made a lot of progress today, so I'm really happy with it.
Well, congratulations, great ride. Eli, not the best of start there in the main event. I think you're around 8th or 9th, and then about halfway through, a light switch went off, and you were a house of fire. You dropped the triple quad in that rhythm section after the finish line. How much did that help you move through the pack and eventually take over the lead and pull away?
I mean, that line was good, but for me, I was struggling with flow all day, and it was pretty bad. You know, in the heat race, I felt like I didn't even know what I was doing, really. Was pretty buried, and I think that semi race was a good saving grace for me. Just getting out there, breathing, and going for it. Yeah, it was a bad gate pick, and I got beat on the start, but was able to blow some nerves out and some cobwebs, and went to the main and just found it.
Yeah, congratulations, 2 in a row. We'll open up the floor to questions. Name and media affiliation, please.
Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. For Eli, patience seems to be the name of the game for you. You patiently made your way through the field without panic. Tell us a little bit about eventually getting to 2nd place and making the move.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough to, you know, there were spots where you could make the pass and others where you couldn't, you know. There was a lot of times where you'd run up on a guy, and, you know, like before the finish line, I would get on the outside of guys and go into that whoop section, but it funneled into that one rut, so you kind of had to stay behind him there. But there was other good parts in the sweeper where you could get underneath, or maybe even in the whoop. So you had to pick and choose for sure.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live. This is for Cooper Webb. Cooper, towards the end of the main event there, Jason Anderson came up on you, and then all of a sudden you picked it back up. Is it hard as a rider, you know, to pick it back up after that?
A little bit, yeah. I actually made a mistake and kind of got some dirt clog stuck in my brake, and had to kind of get that out. So, you know, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, and you know, I was definitely want to be on the podium. So it was like, I knew he was coming. I knew he wanted to get it as well. So, you know, you kind of get in your groove to where you feel comfortable, and then that stuff like that happens. You kind of have to get back and push that limit once again. So I was glad to regroup and still get up here.
Steve Cox, Cycle News. Eli, does it help you mentally early in a race like this when you're a little bit behind and some guys out front are getting away to know that there's 20 minutes and a lap, so you're not like worried about running out of time as much?
Yeah, I mean it's good for the most part. As long as you're feeling good as for how you're going, But for me, those first couple of rounds, I would have liked it the old way, because how bad I was getting. So, but I think for the most part, it's just consistent, and I like it.
Michael Antonovich with Trans World Motocross for Ryan and Eli both. Difficult heat races for you guys, pretty exciting, but you had to fight all the way for every spot. Did that extra little bit of track time in the semis help because you saw how it was going to break down?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just really getting out there and getting more laps on the track because it was such a technical track to where you had to really get that flow and get the section like the dragon back or maybe that big line, after the mechanics. So it was good, other than the bad gate pick.
Yeah, for me too. I mean, that was. I wasn't even disappointed when I got 5th and I went back because I was like, one thing, I need more laps because I felt like practice I didn't have the flow either. So it was good for me. I got out front, was able to kind of try a few things with the bike and experiment a little bit and get some more track time. And it was more the way it was going to be in the main event. So for me, it was a positive as well.
Cooper, in the middle part of the race, you're kind of by yourself. Is that, I heard you mention on the podium something about jitters or whatever. Is that when that started because you didn't have anybody to battle with and you're just kind of just riding around?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it was, at first I was kind of trying to pace myself off Ryan, and, I could, a little later on I saw Eli was coming, and, I thought he had been doing something, and then I saw he was doing that section, and, I think like you said, he kind of got going, especially around that halfway, and that's where I kind of started thinking a lot. And it's tough that line of how much effort you put in, and that line of pushing it and getting a little sketchy and trying to just have a good race. So for me, that's I think when it kind of hit. And once he got around me, I tried to stay with him a few laps and made a few mistakes, and I think that's when I just kind of almost settled and kind of just rode it out.
It's for all three of you guys. We missed a bunch of untimed practices this year. On a day like today, I mean, does it make a difference, or does it bother you? Or
I mean, I personally, you guys might have different, but I personally like the 2 practices. I feel like two practices, but 8 minutes each practice it's not enough. It's good, and especially a track like this that gets so chewed up and rutted and stuff, and it's constantly changing, and it takes a little bit more to get used to. So, like I was saying, it was nice you got that semi to kind of get some more track time, because I went into the heat and you just feel like you barely put any laps in. So it's a little bit mellow on the schedule in the day. You're not just boom, 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 and it's all time. So in my opinion, I think the best thing would be 2 practices, but make them like 12 minutes, or go back to the old way, 2 15-minute practices. It's I'm not upset, but it's getting to a point where it's like you got 16 minutes out there, which how many laps do you really get before it's time to go racing? So it's like you're kind of really getting to the bare minimum, and it's like you're lucky if you get comfortable, and that's what we got to make work, and you got to get to it at Supercross, but it's very minimal, and I think we need to downsize how many riders or how many practices we have and make the practices a little longer, so the track and it's a balance. So something to talk about, I think.
Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. Ryan, you seemed frustrated today with your body language anyway. How do you stay calm when the waters are a little bit rocky and when you're up against the time when the bike's not feeling great right off the hop? Yeah,
I mean, I think it was just wanting to do better. I think you put in a good lap in practice and you're 9th and you're like, wow, geez, that was all I had. But for the team, we went back and we decided to do some changes, which were good. And a track like this, it requires a good setup. It's not just a hard packed track where you can get away with a lot. So I wasn't frustrated. I just wanted to be better. And in the end, I know that everybody's just throwing a hot lap out there. One hot lap, so it's a little different in practice. But I think it's safe to say we were fighting it a little bit. I mean, it happens, but I'm glad that we got, we made a positive of it, and we were able to get through it and came out better, than when we started. So that's all I could ask for. If we struggled winning the main event and it was we still fought it, then it would have been a disappointment. But it's we got a good group of people, so it worked out good.
Steve Guyberson with Vitalomax. Cooper, Chad last week had talked about having a little more freedom to be able to change some more stuff on the bike. Is that something that you've wrestled with too, or I don't know how similar or dissimilar setups are for you guys?
They're quite a bit different, actually. So it's, for me, it's just little stuff, I've been working on. And like I said, you can only get so much out of your bike on a practice track. And, coming to the races, the first couple, in my opinion, were so much different on the layouts and stuff like that. So you feel like you make a step in the week, and then you get to the racetrack, and it's totally different. So I think for me, I just, didn't change too much stuff, kind of went back to the basics, and went from there. And I'm not sure. I know he has had a long week testing last week, but just did my thing.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live. Well, this will be the last question. Then we'll have also question for the media after this. But just for all three of you guys, real quick, you happy to leave California and get back to the domes next week and the week after in Minneapolis?
Yeah, we don't have to deal with the cut practice, Even going back to that, I'm all for 2 longer practices and get rid of the free thing for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to head back east. It's the West Coast is good, but I mean those East Coast rounds are pretty fun. The stadiums are real nice, dirt's good, so kind of start heading to a different part of the country. It's good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been, so it'll be nice to get back on the east.
Right on, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. Let's hear a round of applause for the 450 podium here. That's going to conclude the post-race press conference from Round 5 in Oakland, California. The series will pick up next week in Arlington, Texas for Round 6. Thank you guys very much.